The use of full stop in English grammar. What is full stop? The full stop, period or full point, is a punctuation mark. It is used for several purposes, most often to mark the end of a declarative sentence, as opposed to a question or exclamation. This sentence terminal use, alone, defines the strictest sense of full stop. The mark is also often used, singly, to indicate omitted characters, or in an ellipsis, to indicate omitted words. It may be placed after an initial letter used to stand for a name, or after each individual letter in an initialism or acronym. For example, USA. However, this style is declining, and many initialisms sans punctuation, for example, UK and NATO, have become accepted norms. A full point is also frequently used at the end of word abbreviations, in British usage, primarily truncations like Reverend, but not after contractions like Reverend. In American English it is used in both cases. Usage. Full stops are one of the most commonly used punctuation marks. Analysis of texts indicate that approximately half of all punctuation marks used are full stops. Ending sentences. Full stops indicate the end of sentences that are not questions or exclamations. After initials. It is usual in North American English to use full stops after initials, for example A. Milne, George W. Bush. British usage is less strict. A few style guides discourage full stops after initials. However, there is a general trend and initiatives to spell out names in full instead of abbreviating them in order to avoid ambiguity. Abbreviations. A full stop is used after some abbreviations. If the abbreviation ends a declaratory sentence, there is no additional period immediately following the full stop that ends the abbreviation. For example, my name is Gabriel Gama Jr. Though two full stops, one for the abbreviation, one for the sentence ending, might be expected, conventionally only one is written. This is an intentional omission, and thus not haplography, which is unintentional omission of a duplicate. In the case of an interrogative or exclamatory sentence ending with an abbreviation, a question or exclamation mark can still be added. For example, are you Gabriel Gama Jr.? Abbreviations and personal titles of address. Further information, abbreviation section periods, full stops, and spaces. According to the Oxford AZ of Grammar and Punctuation, if the abbreviation includes both the first and last letter of the abbreviated word, as in Mr., and Doctor, a full stop is not used. This does not include, for example, the standard abbreviations for titles such as Professor, or Reverend, because they do not end with the last letter of the word they are abbreviating. In American English, the common convention is to include a period after all such abbreviations. Acronyms and initialisms. In acronyms and initialisms, the modern style is generally to not use full points after each initial, for example DNA, UK, USSR. The punctuation is somewhat more often used in American English, most commonly with US and USA in particular. However, this depends much upon the house style of a particular writer or publisher. As some examples from American style guides, the Chicago Manual of Style, primarily for book and academic journal publishing, deprecates the use of full points in acronyms, including US, while the Associated Press Style book, primarily for journalism, dispenses with full points in acronyms except for certain two-letter cases, including US, UK, and UN, but not TU. History. The full stop symbol derives from the Greek punctuation introduced by Aristophanes of Byzantium in the 3rd century BCE. In his system, there were a series of dots whose placement determined their meaning. The full stop at the end of a completed thought or expression was marked by a high dot comma called the stigmatalia, sigma tau iota gamma mu tau epsilon lambda epsilon alpha, or terminal dot. The middle dot, the stigmas, sigma tau iota gamma mu sigma eta, marked a division in a thought occasioning a longer breath, essentially a semicolon, while the low dot, called the hypostigma by Omicron sigma tau iota gamma mu comma or under dot, marked a division in a thought occasioning a shorter breath, essentially a comma. In practice, scribes mostly employed the terminal dot, the others fell out of use and were later replaced by other symbols. From the 9th century onwards, the full stop began appearing as a low mark, instead of a high one, and by the time printing began in Western Europe, the lower dot was regular and then universal.
Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel. Test your English grammar for more videos regarding English grammar.